Here's what's interesting. In 2 Chronicles 2:55, we actually hear this term called the clan of scribes. They were actually called the Sopharites. Around 800 to 600 BC, these were scribes whose entire job was to copy down the Old Testament. They would develop practices and copying almost every letter on every page and every syllable to make sure it was accurate. And parchment back then was quite expensive, but if they screwed up, they would have to start all over again. And they had this, it was very early on in Jewish history that it's alluded to, that they had this accuracy of copying that was paramount to them making sure that they could keep the Old Testament in its state that it started. So it's cool because the Bible even references these Sopharites. But fast forward about 1,000 years and we see the Masoretes. They're in the 5th century AD, and they are sharpening the standard of the practices that preceded them. They, if you looked at a parchment paper, if they were writing down and scripting out on a piece of parchment paper, they would know what the first letter would be, what the last letter would be, and what the letter in the middle was. So if they were scribing it down and they got to the middle and they realized the first letter or that letter wasn't the right letter in the middle, scrap that piece of paper, start all over from scratch, because they knew exactly what needed to be on every single page. Their standards were very, very, very precise in the way they thought about it.